And so begins my final battle. And not a very big battle as well. There's an object on the screen and it has a fucking bubble. What do I do? It occupies this space. Right? And the most normal thing to do, I would say, go in a fucking spiral. Let's go. Will this work? And it's a very typical spiral. And it basically ends... Because I actually made it wrong right now. The way I actually triggered the object. If the object is far away, it's trying to hit this point, but it cannot hit this point, so it actually is hidden from view. That's what's happening right now. Whew. And if I go into a spiral, then I keep going. Maybe I probably go like this. Whatever is more convenient. We go. And, I suppose if we... There still has to be a better way, right? Like, it's so fucking frustrating, though. Another thing to note, it's almost like a circle of ray tracing. So you can clockwise race and fill in that way. You can also pick up this point, see where this point is, and just scale it up with the square. And this one would be like the most obvious one. You just check the square, but how the fuck do you check the square? How do you check it? Or do you just fill it in? I want to know exactly how to do this, man. How do you fill an area with a circle? Well, I have never learned anything but people are just as smart as I am, if not worse, so they have no idea either. They're trying all kinds of tricks, basically, to figure out. But all I'm looking for is, like, I have a circle, guys. I just need to fill in the space, guys. That's all I fucking need. Just fill where the circle is. The circle heads. Another way to look at it is, again, this hits that. We pick this point. We see if that's inside. That's what I'm gonna be doing right now. I'm still gonna use the 32 by 32 method, but I'll see if this is inside. This might not be as laggy as I'm hoping it not to be, so, like, fuck yeah. It's already not laggy, but still. If everything fails, there's another method, and everything is kind of fucking failing right now on me. I still know the circle. I can turn this into a circle and just ask how they relate to each other. I don't know how to cut corners. For some reason. I'm sorry. I went this far and I don't know. I just don't know. There's probably a position somewhere that I can cut to. Because I get, no, it's just so weird. It's just so fucking weird. What's going on here? It's norm B. And, it's a second way of normalizing things. But in general, it's just normalized vector. And then there's also normal for some reason. Oh man. So it uses a boolean too. If, then normalize. Wow, that's what B stands for. Do I want to normalize this? Pretty much. And despite me normalizing it, and despite me getting the dot point, and pointing at the goddamn dot point, maybe I did something wrong actually. But no way. I have the object position and I'm pointing a dot into it, then multiplying. I can try again. Absolutely. I can try again. It's all black though. It all turns out black. I don't know why at all. And that just doesn't look right. It looks like a circle too. What the fuck is this? It's disgusting too. So I can't quickly figure out what I did wrong. I'm trying to grid ID everything and compare it. Meaning, I'm trying to point here and compare, is it in the same place, and well, it doesn't fucking work. And this is a vector too, so I have to add object position, which is here, and then point with the vector, and then find that point. Oh, fuck, and I have a special size as well prepared. Everything is fucking prepared. But for some reason, it's not equals. Just like, what? Never ever? What do you mean? That's pretty fucking sad. So yeah, let's do the circle thing. Maybe it works. Fuck, I immediately know that there's a problem. My screen is made out of these things, not these things. Fuck, I have to use the fucking normal method, rather. Normal, let's go normal. I have to somehow just fix this. I don't know what's going on, so that means I can fix it. Very simple mistake. I didn't put it on a fucking screen. Jesus. Finally, this will be it, man. This might just be it. What I'm gonna be looking at is gonna be blowing my mind. Because it's so bad. Why is it still doing it? Well, now it's probably the block amount for sure. Although these first blocks are kind of fucking weird. Let's test it out then. Let's put it on 60. Let's put it on a blast. More testing, obviously. Potentially the positions are too far away from each other too. Oh wow, it still doesn't work. Oh! What?! That's pretty crazy, dude. This is getting there. This is getting there, dude. Holy shit. We can see it now. It's laggy as fuck. And this is where my magic fingers have to fucking figure out how to optimize this stuff as well. Wow. We got him. We fucking got him. Perfect. It took me forever. It takes me 60 blocks to find the right one too. It's cool, I guess. Can we afford going down on misses as well? What can we afford to do now, is the question. And what the fuck is this corner thing? Yeah, probably there's still a lot of stuff I have to read. Oh, this one is not good. This is where two things happening. From a distance, it looks decent, though. Oh, man. is gonna be the harder part, and knowing that it's laggy too. And you must understand, these are all objects. Every single one. They can have physics and shit if they wanted to. Oh my god. It looks so good from that angle. So yeah. That is pretty cool. Whew. I'm not gonna stop working until I get that perfect image. Okay, figure out every single optimization possible, all that shit. You can also look at it as super crammed objects, because these are not chunks. Again, I could do chunks and it would be fucking easy. If you get super close, it's super easy. Except there's still something, obviously. Even if you do get super close, there's still something to fight against. It's fucking weird. So, despite how cool this rendering method is, it's still gonna take a lot more work to make it a reality. Okay, so I am gonna make a video while watching YouTube Rewind, while watching every single other Susan Wojcicki videos. I have to prepare myself for the fucking final consumption of the goods. I can still fit. I had to eat the entire table of goods. And there's only a few things left that are worth looking at still, you know, like when you're super full, like, okay, how does this taste like? I can still put it in my mouth and chew on it, maybe. You know, you have to slow down your eating if you want to eat more consciously and not damaging yourself. That's what dessert means. So this video is a dessert before the actual main thing, which is not my consumption, but it's gonna be consumption for you. Hopefully it works out that way. It's still gonna be shit, it's still gonna be a 3-hour thing, but hopefully it motivates you to see the whole process overall and see how big of a dump I take, basically. How fucking happy I am. Slam dunked out of my ass. So I'm gonna watch every Rewind and every Susan video and gonna rant about it, of course. And gonna see the overall picture of how the story went and where do I come into the story and what my Rewind's supposed to look like as well. I have looked into Rewind YouTube channels from 2018 and 2017, and there was a lot to look at. 2019 was garbage. 2020 doesn't even exist anymore. It withered away. But PewDiePie did the bridge thing. Bridged YouTube Rewind into the memes. And now maybe Mr. Beast fucking does something spectacular. But it's out of sync, okay? Every December 6th is now a rewind time, basically. It's a special fucking time. I'm probably gonna have to release my video just slightly before December 6th. Just so I could take a fucking break at this point, honestly. The real way to do it is take a break, and I wanted to do it anyways, and I want to show that I was prepared for it to some degree, at least mentally. That's just the way. It is so annoying. Life it is so annoying because, like, well, people have their expectations, and I can't quite meet those expectations yet. I can only be angry of, like, hey guys, I'm just a normal human being like you guys. Stop trying so hard. And whenever I put effort, I hope you appreciate it. So let's just mix those 2 points up, right? I'll prepare those 2 points of meals, and we're basically gonna be cooking this whole time in the background. All the teams I pretty much prepared, right? It's like, well, yeah, they cook, yeah, that's fine. It's gonna work out to some degree. And again, finish with that cherry on top, so it has to be the cherry. Cherry on top. Or maybe cake sounds a little better. I think birthday cake is pretty good. Birthday, because it's a new fucking year. It's a new birth and a new person that I'm gonna start worshiping and see what happens. Worshipping in terms of, like, I need to understand everything. What would a narcissist do? Because I want to taste it. Hopefully it's not gonna ruin my life. It has a percent chance to ruin my life. If I was wrong in my entire life, like, holy shit, I'm not gonna burn very well. But it's that time when I will be burning. If I can do work, I will do work. So it's really questionable how it all gonna work. You know, if I can sing, I have to sing, basically. There's some kind of principles out there that I cherry-picked for now, but we'll dive into a lot deeper. And it's gonna be the December, basically, preparing, understanding what's gonna happen next year in general. But right now, we gotta rewind. And I've been doing this entire month, and we're gonna now look at the only things that left to be appreciated. Also, I wanted to put something, and I forgot what that is. God damn it. Let's just keep going. I started fucking talking about cooking, but there was a point I needed to make. Oh yeah, the point about effort, right? So, final preparations. Maybe it's gonna be like an interview beforehand, before I do my moves. Why should you be appreciated? And immediately I have self-esteem. I want to spend it, but I want to spend it good, okay? Put me in the right fucking place when I'm not scared from the very beginning, where I worked through it, and people trust me, and I understand these people, I know these people, I know what they want. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. To get a stage or a spotlight. So just because I have self-esteem, I have to keep reminding people I have self-esteem. I want to talk about something. I made all these 3-hour videos so you fucking get the idea that I want to talk about something. And I will have to craft my own stage, because none of this is happening. Nobody's like, here's the stage for you. I don't feel that way. But I feel minor sparks kind of being here and there. You have to pick it up all yourself. Only you know your full story. So that's what's up. It's quite messy when you have to keep picking up your story together, but nobody actually sees it as a whole. And how do you respect that entirely? But the best thing again to do is just to give a small portion of yourself, present yourself some way, some way presentable, reset the whole thing. I have to rewind myself, I have to rewind my entire context that I have, pretend that everything is fresh, and see how quickly I can work through in 3 hours, how quickly I can rebuild my self-esteem, basically. I think that's the goal of the spotlight, right? You start with completely small steps, engaging people into a story, and then kind of flowing through the story, but you still have to like really carefully craft it so it's intriguing the whole way through, and it actually has meaning accumulating as it goes. The best way to do things, right? I just have to draw it though. The best way to do something, you have to give a pretty bottle appearance of your story, and you clip segments together. And YouTubers kind of clip around a lot, but I don't like that. I like just clipping, taking a breath and exhaling. It's fucking normal. Picking up some locks and figuring out what to do with them, and ensuring that my lock picking is high enough to where I can't lose. The same way I play Skyrim, right? I play to understand every intricacy of Skyrim that would kill me, and I try and avoid that. It's simple, but I do die often enough to where I have to restart again. And I can't quite make it to the, the late game where I'm not fearful of anything. I just broke the game. I just broke through. It's the end, basically. I could do this forever, right? Because the most important part playing Skyrim is entertaining yourself. And again, not getting in trouble, well, trouble is all over the place. And you have to understand how to fucking fight it. It would help if Skyrim was just a card game, then it would be easy to balance and see the problems. But, that's just the future. We have to look at it now as it is. So I think you have a bunch of segments. What you're actually looking for to do is to retain attention, right? Retain attention. So potentially you have to retell your story as well and create these kind of bottlenecks for new people. But you also framing everything together as a whole story, and obviously preparing people that, oh, this is going to be the main entry, and then there's secondary entry points, and the whole thing. I don't like spending time labeling segments in my videos, which is now a possibility you can do, and other people do it. I think segmenting videos is a little bit weird, but it could be done. It could be done. I value my time a little bit more. So I'm sure other people deserve your time as well, because they value your time more than their own time. But not always sacrifice should be met with respect. If you go into an army, it's a sacrifice, people respect that, but not always. You should just bring up, oh, I'm a veteran or something, to earn respect and to keep your fucking story forward. You're gonna gain respect so you can rest now. Figure something better to do with your life now that you have been at war or you have been in harsh training conditions. Cool, what do you do with it? Please, don't finish your story there, because if you just became a harsh person and you gave up all your freedoms, that's not worth fighting for. You literally took a fight that you lost, and that's disrespectful to a lot of people. So not always sacrifice is met with respect. It's important to keep your story straight. Keep moving. forward. No matter what happens in your life, no matter what stage you're in, you keep moving forward. You keep uploading videos, no matter what. That's what makes you a good YouTuber and stands out in this pool of people that I picked out for us to see if they have some insights for me. And if those insights play together somehow. So yeah. I think it's worth doing from the bottom to the top as well. So with this segment, I'm like distributing points, double checking who has earned the most in this very, very short period, I would say. It's a very short period, but I heated up everyone so everyone had a chance to stand out. And with their points, maybe they will stand out even more. It's a huge spectacle, I would say. Way bigger than that $1 million fucking dollar for St. Jude. Stupid MatPat. I feel like, like, we gonna slash MatPat. We fucking slash him. He started this whole thing. He made me start this whole thing. I love slashing MatPat, because MatPat is like the other side of my personality, but I'm still trying to be a YouTuber myself, so like, and I'm not a YouTuber, so MatPat is still a YouTuber. I can still fucking trash him as much as I want, and he's just has that special flavor of wrong, No matter what you do on YouTube, you're wrong. Even if you're trying to be a YouTube CEO, that's especially wrong, because I want to be just as much. And what makes you a YouTube CEO in the first place? You should be careful. Before you take a title, you should look around. Does anyone else wants it? And once you fucking have it, without nobody wanting it anymore, it's like, oh, that's how much trouble I have to go through to get it. Well, you finally have defeated everyone. Finally. I'm not gonna turn this into a way to defeat everyone as a rewind, but kind of am. It depends. I want to agree with everyone, and that's the greatest defeat that you can have. Is like, oh, I acknowledged you, and I acknowledged you, and you want my title, and you want my title. That's why I have my title. Often enough, your title becomes true simply because people want it. And they're not actually putting effort into it, they just want it. And they say to you, I want it, I want it, I want it. And they become your fucking kids. Not much bigger than that. They just say what they want, but they can't fucking do anything about it because they're full of insecurities. They don't have self-esteem anymore. So that's the perfect target to grow your title with. So that, again, those things are going to be mixed up quite a bit. I've spent 1 year. I feel I have collected something, and I can unleash it on at least one video. Max pain, basically. It's still a, it's not something that I can think about anymore. It's just something that happens. Because if I put effort, I put effort. It's just simple, right? And there's still that fucking spice in there of my mom going to court today. What she's gonna find in there? I want to know. Kinder surprise. There's a bunch of old people dying around us. And they want to incriminate us. They want to see us for some reason. So, cool. Let's spend more time together. I'm sure the person that got hurt was having a lot of fun. Fucking seeing me hurt them. Which I did not intend to do. Which is like, whatever, right? Please leave. Oh no, I want to fall down. Okay. And I closed the door. And now the court processing Am I mentally insane? Yeah, maybe, yeah. If you're gonna call me mentally insane, someone is committing a suicide up in here, so I can't wait. So that's the last thing you want to do. Is look at the sad Keanu Reeves sitting on a bench and say it's mentally insane person. No, that's just a meme. Dude, that's just a meme. You want to see sad Keanu, so you know people can approach him and make him happy, but nobody did. He's sad because the reality is super sad. But it still was an opportunity for people who actually saw it. Okay? Sad Keanu and Knock Knock shows opportunity to get close to a big guy. Okay? To a big guy. Instead of taking a picture of sad Keanu, you could have approached him and made him not sad. Or could have done two things at once. If you're super genius, okay? Took a picture of sad Keanu and then took a picture of a happy Keanu, and that's the full story basically. So that's the real Matrix right there. Making someone happy for a day, that's the fucking Matrix, dude, because they're probably not gonna forget it that easily. Okay? You now are a piece of their puzzle of who they are, so they will not forget you. It's almost like a movie that they just watched in their real life, interactively. Okay, like making someone happy, not easy, man. Having a decent conversation, but you have to be prepared in so many ways that a normal person can't do it. So again, that's one of those rewind moments. Are you ready for it? You see that opportunity, you gotta grab it. And what kind of opportunity do I see myself? Well, I see myself that it's coming together naturally, right? There's no problem at all. I will put myself on a higher gravity, if possible, on a lot of pressure to make sure that every single fucking word is legit. But I still have to be true to myself, and I will swear. Because, like, what does that mean? People take it too seriously. I'm sure everyone is gonna be basically ashamed of themselves, because that's the biggest motivating factor. Okay, shame is what should motivate you forward. Yeah, I wanted to click on Onision, no drama thing, but I think I'm ashamed actually if I click that. I usually commit to just a few things that would feed me notifications, because it's a lot more difficult to juggle those things. So you have to just focus and just sit on it, not be bothered too much. I also have my daily things, which is RuneScape, and my weekly things, which is Hearthstone. So, gotta keep up with those too. 2 times a week. You gotta take Hearthstone 2 times a week? It's fucking medicine. So stupid, isn't it? But, it's not stupid, because it's not actual medicine. It's not just you feed yourself feelings, you're interacting with something. It's there, it's made, you're interacting on your own free will. So you didn't bought it, you're not buying into it, you're not expecting anything, I like it, I like it, I have it. It's built, it's copied and pasted. Given for free. It might not be completely free, it's art goes into Hearthstone, Hearthstone gets refreshed every now and then, and just getting the feelings out of the same things over and over again becomes harder and harder. But it is something. It's something that I guess it's a big part of the story, but doesn't quite make it. give it a star. It's like, we can't forget the games. We just can't forget the games. I'm a programmer. I can't forget fellow programmers or game designers. Or E. Or Mr. E. Mr. Engineer, you know? Elon Musk is kind of like an engineer. And I don't quite understand engineers, because I can't have enough resources to do engineering in the first place. And my friend also is E. You know, he also had more engineering experience, because he was in orphanage his whole time, so engineering was a way to hack yourself a little bit better performing computer, for example. Something like that. Or just hack better experience in life. I don't know. I don't know what the fundamental thing of engineering is, besides hacking, right? So I don't quite respect it, but it's there. Potentially engineering is simply making YouTube videos. That's engineering. You're just putting together something out of pieces you can totally understand, and they're totally simple, but you put together them, and it's almost like a physical material, something that other people can interact with as well, or see very easily. So it's like a little robot. People can pick it up and fucking play with it. You don't have to tell them what you did. Now, with making a game, you do need to put them through a tutorial of some kind. You do have to explain things, unless they had already experienced. But everything requires a tutorial. So what is programming different from engineering? How is it? It's almost like I have to leave this question unknown. But in a way, those things kind of work together. I'm also an engineer, because I'm trying to make an engine to do programming with. And I don't quite like programming that much, actually, as engineering. And basically engineering is like the deeper level of programming then. Engineering is quite deep, and there's the soft engineering as well. So just making robots is soft engineering, but actually putting those robots to work is the deep engineering. There's an overarching thing basically deeper down. So when people think about engineering, I think they think about soft engineering. The deeper engineering always happens in the factory, something that replicates things. So soft engineering would be like if you bought yourself a gadget. Even a 3D printer would be soft engineering, but something that's being used. Heavy duty engineering. Or just cars. They have not been soft engineering for a long time, but now they kind of are. Right? And Elon Musk kind of made it softer as well by introducing electric cars and all that shit. Like, well, there's different kinds of cars now. So it becomes softer over time, the hardcore things that we start taking for granted. Phones become soft engineering. People figure out how to do those. But a hardcore engineering is potentially knowing where to use your phone, how to be more productive with your phone, that sort of stuff. It's almost like psychological, but not really. It's almost like hacking your life, but not really. It's just technology that you have to know how to use to better your life. That's engineering. That's truly engineering, okay? So in a way that you can look at it from programming, building a game engine, that would be heavy duty thing. that I can do as a hardcore programmer, but everyone should learn programming. Just be more mindful of the way that you can think of problems, right? So I solved a bunch of problems. I know how to do it now. Problems present themselves all the time, so I know how to approach a problem and still remain respectful and mindful about it, and how to squeeze most, juice out of it. So, like, yeah. Most importantly, the deeper meaning is about improving your life. That's what it is. You just become a nugget of a hardcore engineer when you buy something and implement it into your life fully. And if you just buy it for the fad or anything else, you're just a loser. Right? You never really gain the full potential that has been provided to you. Because someone like accumulates a skill and shares it to everyone else, you have the option to actually buy that from them. So that's pretty good. Or just accumulate your own skills if you're poor. So it's your choice that has to be made based on circumstances too. Anyway, so I'm gonna go jump into YouTube Rewinds and start chilling. I looked into them a lot of times already. I watched YouTube Rewind at least 2 times, all of them, but every single time you have a different perspective, and they're short enough, so it's not gonna feel like a chore. The whole compilation thing is actually 48 minutes. So I don't even deserve 3 hours to speak to the audience, but like, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure there's a lot of double rainbows in life that we have missed because we have been motivated by snaps instead of sitting down and fucking relaxing and actually holding everything together, holding everything all together, because it gets smaller, but maybe it's for the right reasons, like you can hold more things when it gets smaller, more efficient, and you're not just getting older, you're reaching your prime state. Okay, people haven't reached that yet. People haven't figured out what's truly possible. And if you think you can improve your life, that's the motivating factor. Not looking at something that, oh yeah, that happened on YouTube, actually, yeah, okay. What's in it for me? That's right, man. People got super greedy in 2020. Gonna wake them up again. I'm kind of having an idea here. There's heat. And I can pour coffee. Maybe. Wake them up, motherfuckers. If they have less heat. And that would feed into the system a lot faster. If some shit has a lot of heat, they have to make friends, basically. Sounds very good to me. Let's fucking do it. Let's shut this down as an operation and open up the other one. Because I can only have one open at any time. I'll change that very quickly. But not now. Let's see how we can add heat. Bonus heat. Okay, I added the feature. I do recognize, like, you need some visual representations of things. So this is not going to stick around as an interface. But I first have to finish my engine, obviously. So it's such a slow process being completely separate and alone. But that's what you gotta do sometimes. Whoops. This will take a long time to review. I just want to like, oh, this is a big deal. Let's fucking watch this. The Lonely Island? Nicki Minaj? What's going on here? She gets featured so many times, it's just so weird. But this one I want to see. I absolutely need to bring back top 10 videos, I think. I don't know if it's the most popular ones or something. Probably, yeah. Because I remember Rebecca Black being #1 and shit. But I have to bring it back somehow. By the way, Nicki Minaj is kind of cancelled right now. So, there's something called X-Nimi. And she holds all the points. Not the actual Nicki Minaj, so... I don't know, I think at 25% heat I would bring her back. I think there's a new criteria here. But she can only get 10% now. So I'm sorry about that. Okay, I have a general idea. Consumed all the rewinds. Fucking movie 50 minutes long. Holy shit. I still will have to sleep on it. It's a lot of thoughts. These 5 first logs don't even fucking cut it, man. Because it's mostly about controversy, right? Like how much people like it, how much I should dig into it, whether I spent 1 year in YouTube, that means I'm gonna stick with it, or I have to look up for something better to do with my life. But I don't quite see it that way, actually. I see it that I'm being overwhelmed. The only thing that can change me and my stand on things is being heard for 1 fucking second, right? So that's, despite me having a lot of fucking weird things in my head, it's just like, well, I played with myself a lot of the time, and I'm not looking for friends. It's not that easy, okay? I would love to have friends. I don't know how to look for them, though, and how to actually make friends properly, and none of that's actually given to you. YouTube is not a tool that an ordinary person can use. So, whenever something goes up in a tier, just like YouTube, it actually becomes way more useful. Just like gaming is actually way more useful to talk about pretty much everything. Pretty much everything. It used to be 2nd generation, but it's gonna go to 3rd. So, and everyone knows now the power of gaming. I mean, it literally threw a huge shade on YouTube itself as well. I'm pretty sure about that. And it basically saves people from nonsense and drama. I mean, what else are you going to be doing in your life? In order to entertain yourself 100%, okay? Where nothing wrong can happen to you. Gaming. It has been around for longer than YouTube as well. So, there's no denying that it throws shade, okay? And YouTube just didn't know what the fuck is going on because it never really respected gaming as much as, well, it didn't actually have to respect it. It did its own thing. I'm just saying. But awareness creates respect. Just like the more people are aware of me, the more respectful I can get and stop being toxic with my ideas. But at the same time, you have to earn that respect. You can't just look at me and pretend that just by looking at me you're gonna find respect. And I'll have to deliver to your door. That's not gonna happen. Again, the usefulness of these things become greater. Now, I did put media overall. You can say it's TV. It could be media overall up there. Because definitely games came after the TV. TV generation could be even higher than that. But technically it's something we still understand to some degree. I still want to know what this fucking fourth generation, like movies and stuff. That's crazy. It's way higher production than you would normally do. So it's pretty much physical media, something that you would actually even record on DVDs and shit and spread out as a viable option to buy if you're rich. You just plug in the movie and play it. Still pretty fucking easy, I would say. But it's getting super old and super useless, and this is why like the usefulness meter actually grows. So it's, but how? This doesn't make sense actually to me. Haven't we already replaced TV? And this is the actual replacement? What's going on? Well, we haven't replaced movie stars. We haven't actually adopted, as YouTube did not adopt all the movie stars. Okay, and there's the world of celebrities basically, which is TV. Something that plays in the background too. And that's another way to tune in. I'm not sure what the statistics are. And I don't really care that much. I'm just trying to get the feeling of what's going on, because I don't quite tune into this shit at all. TV can still tune you in with the locality, right? So you might Americans might have ditched TV most of the time, but because they're surrounded with celebrities, everyone else have to like keep themselves intact. It's a tough question, like what's up here. Maybe my simple brain just can't comprehend it actually anymore. Because I can't look back anymore. You have to also look back, and pretty much something that outlived its usefulness so much that it's still influential, you can call it that as well. Like we grew up on it, so we still understand what it is and how to use it. Hopefully. But I still don't think, like, it beats even gaming. Because then if something lower beats higher, then YouTube beats everything at the moment. It's kind of true. It beats my interests, but it cannot beat the usefulness. Like, I will always say, like, games are super high production as well. So what can be higher than that is the question. I mean, if I type in best 1990s, I get movies or songs. It's kind of what defines things, and the games don't come up here, but like they're trying to actually exist. That's pretty cool. It's just media, right? Just media. It's very, very physical media as well. And physical media is trying not to die too fast or appear in different forms. It's almost like a spread out of physical media, or just the appreciation of music and movies, I think. It's almost like transcended appreciation now. You know, where it doesn't have a physical form anymore. So, movies and songs. Fucking Moso, man. Or Smosh, why not? They deserve it. You know. I think, then you can say this instead of Smosh. Movies, songs, and everything else that's nice. I don't know, and high budget, basically, that you can pour in all the effort into. Now, why would people do this? Why would they fucking build monoliths of effort? What are they trying to reach here? But it's a community effort. It's not necessarily a job that you can have, and it's not necessarily a way to make profit, which is kind of the same thing too. Or a way to get famous or be heard. Like, no, it's a completely next level. Building a monolith. Is to bond the group together. It's kind of juicing out the community power, I would say. An ability to basically stack cards until you reach that top level where everything topples down and you capture that last moment, the ending basically. And how did it end? It has a specific story in mind. I very much like this, actually. It is gonna be a very difficult thing to build. The rewind. And to motivate myself to live another year. Because that's what I have to do, outshadowed by everyone else. And not having my place. But hey, you know. We can look at it again as well, you know, in a different format. TV is something everyone is familiar with, and they had to have it, basically. And you have the gaming consoles, and not everyone has it, mostly new generation people, but I was getting a console quite early on. My dad had it pretty much for me, and he had it for himself too. I mean, the gaming was popping up for sure. But let's just keep it a G. And in order to access YouTube, you need a smartphone. It's a very progressive thing. But maybe not smartphone, maybe you need a computer, okay? Back in the day, you had those stupid TV plug-in games, right? With controllers and shit. So, wow, I don't know how to draw a controller, so it's weird. But those kind of consoles, and we still have it, which is fucking weird. We still have all these things, but they're withering away, obviously, because they just stood the test of time. Yeah, they're popular. Yeah, but they're also getting replaced just because it stands the test of time, so we can make it better each time. And so good that we forget about it eventually. It's fucking weird. It's like, well, we built railroads, right? It's useless now. We just have, private jets everywhere. But that's a whole nother story of, like, a much longer story, potentially, of how transport is improving, but in a way that it's a weird story, like, what if I don't need transport anymore? But then you have self-driving cars, which is way better than just using railroads or anything else, I would say, because it's almost like ray tracing. I have the same feeling about self-driving cars as I do with ray tracing. You can do the same thing, but more automated, simpler to understand. Once it's done right, it's a lot easier to explain and use it for multi-purposes. Not just travel to specific locations, but actually really expand your technology. Right? It's a weird thing, but that's what it is. There's a generation actually working above TV right now still. The 5th generation that is disappearing as well. I wonder what that is. What is it, the car generation? When was the first car invented? First cars invented. First cars in 1900. First mass-produced car is 1908. It's maybe history of cars will help. It looks pretty good for me. Like like Soviet car, mass car. What's that? Notable post-war cars. So it's post-war as well. It's not it, obviously, but it's close. A car is close for a generation like that. I pick cars because, like, oh, when people graduate, they drive around with cars. It's a super valuable thing. Even to this day, it's like super valuable. But I can't put it on a list somehow. Whoa. Maybe I need to know price of cars, actually. Why wouldn't I put microwave instead? That sounds way fucking fancier. As long as it popularized popularity, I don't know. So hard to research when fucking don't know how. Google, tell me how to research things, you piece of shit. Out of style? Holy shit, I'm scared. This is going out of style right now. It's that one thing, guys. But it's almost like it's valuable to me right now, so it's like doesn't make sense to be a media thing. You know, you can go back to like radio and shit or something. Just some weird stuff. Potentially radio, but radio is no longer a thing anymore. And it has to be a thing for this to be a thing. I don't know. I'll stop digging here. I literally can't figure it out. Besides, I'm gonna go to sleep anyways. Alright, first hour complete. Oh, stupid government, man. So my mom is back from court. And Gov would give me 5 months. An insane asylum. Just because there's a little bit of nuisance concerning me. And I'm obviously guilty, and I obviously need medical help. I have to seek it. Or I'll be forced in this fucking thing. But hey. Yeah, it's probably true they cannot force me to do it. Especially in these special times. But I will say I can pretend that I'm eating medicine if you like me to pretend, but I'm not gonna actually do it. Like I'm a honest person, even to my own detriment. I just know honesty. Like I have to have it so I feel good about myself. Otherwise, it just falls flat and completely useless. The way that it is, the world is super complicated. There's so many variations of something that can happen. But when people love each other, you shrink those variations significantly. So, you don't get backstabbed over and over again by a new stranger. You know? Stop expecting good from strangers. People you spend time with, they can actually understand you, but strangers, it's a whole new world opens up to you, and everything will happen, but nothing of it will be that deep, you know, because you have to first dig a hole and go deep. And usually strangers are actually trying to deflect depth, basically. Trying to go deep with you. Because if you go deep with them, they'll try and get rid of you every way possible. I've done this, and I've just stumbled into like, oh, I'm starting a new conversation. Nothing bad is gonna... But I know the deeper I go. And sometimes I have to go deeper. I have to go deep with my parents, for example. I have to, but I'm not gonna do that quickly. Because they're way older than me, and they have been expecting so much from me for way too long, when they have made little investments into me directly, asking me to do this for this, asking me to making trades with me, very specific trades. So, my parents need reparenting. And for me to go deep into letting them know, basically, time's up, basically. They can put themselves on a hurry and repattern themselves and actually try and make a conversation. Or they just can make themselves as useful as possible now that they've learned it. They can also kill themselves. There's some dark shit in the deep, okay? There's some dark shit that I don't want to fucking talk about. But there's lots of options of how they can fix their lives. And there's a tier list, basically, of options that we can talk about, obviously. Seriously? Someone shows up for level 7 interaction. And this is where I discover that I kind of have to do this, because the more you stick in the DMs, the longer it fucking goes into nonsense land, but oh well. It's all about whether people are willing to respond, by all means, and if that's all they hold on to, and that's all they have in life, respond to you. That's a pretty weird thing to find. I wouldn't say this is very expensive, because people are very pretentious when they're evil, They're just like, oh, I'll stick around because, like, I'm evil, so he's gonna just suck in my evil, and that's kind of what happens most of the time, and why you still have to finish the conversation, because you just don't like it. So, yeah. That was a fucking weird experience. Everything's a weird experience because I'm just going mad about this stupid 5 months thing. It's so stupid. It's literally gonna kill me. 5 months is in forever, basically. It's a forever amount of time. There's nothing that can fucking explain that even. It's something that nobody ever had the experience of, and then they fucking like, yeah, that's totally fine for someone falling down. That's a correct exchange of experience as well. Like, obviously none of this fucking makes sense. Besides, like, the government wants to kill you. That's what it wants. It wants to kill you, it wants to find a single fucking reason to kill you, and it will do it. The highest tier of power that we do not appreciate. Government is. It's operating out there. It's the ultimate vampires, basically. And there's no doubt about that. We are just very big vampires. And stupid. And you're stupid too. Because they're not talking with us or anything. They're not interacting with us. They just hold on to their fucking teddy bear of power. And hope all the evil goes away if I'm just evil enough myself. And I use that power to kill everything that I don't like. All that shit. And in the end, being a vampire becomes a job. It's like, I don't like this person, let's kill it. This person got accused of something. I don't like him anymore. Let's kill it. There's no problem solving at all. It's like, well, of course my best bet is to actually pay money and not be fucking accused of fucking mental illness. That's my best bet, actually. I'm glad you noticed. There's a lot going on. It's so stupid. This fucking story is so twisted and stupid. It's trying to fucking take over by just testing my patience. Because I have to follow it. It's about me. It's the consequences that they want to fucking apply to me. I just want to die. That's all I want. I want peace and quiet. And probably death is a very good answer to that. It's just... Usually death comes in varieties, you know. There's a sacrifice that you have to make, the final sacrifice. And most of the time you fall through a fucking hole of like, oh, this guy is trying to sacrifice himself. That means he really loves life. That's not what it means. Actually. You can't love life if you've never seen life. You just bring enough death so you just... Oh. You just fall through a floor and you can live another day. Because you have sucked in a lot of death. It's really hard to fucking find life. There is this one moment though. I'm not gonna lie, the ending is pretty cool. What if you feel with your eyes? Because think about it, snipers are actually wide-eyed open creatures. The water creatures. And I'm like, I want to feel a pussy right now. The best one. It's as a joke, but almost like a desperation too. And I'm like, wait, how does that even work? Because my dreams would come true necessarily, and they are. There's a bunch of girls on the screens right now. You can look it up. It's true. There are girls on your screens. But you do have to touch yourself to feel something. But the reality is you feel it already with your eyes. That other thing is potentially just something that might not be necessary, but I trick myself into thinking that it's necessary. Whatever I call squeezing the lemon, okay? Because I'm aroused. Oh man, that's the one that fucking gets me. It's like, well, welcome to No Nut November. You pretty much failed. It was November 30 when they have declared a winner of who have lost. No, not November, pretty much. As if like life works in such a fucking magical way where it just wants to really, really, really disappoint you about something. But it feels so good. But it feels so bad too. So it's like, it is a contradiction, because like, but it feels good, right? In that moment. But do you want the rest of your life to feel horrible? Fuck. Don't ask me this question about masturbation, okay? Don't ask me this question. This is so stupid. I think it always feels good, because it's a story. And my story of just having energy throughout the day is garbage. Besides, it is an attack on that as well. Like in Insane Asylum, masturbation pretty hard. Pretty hard to just love yourself now. Which is what you should be doing most of the time. Not hate yourself, love yourself. Wow. Obviously, then I'm like, sure, give me your stupid medicine. How long do I have to fucking take it for? Wow. If you really want to fucking take away my freedom, just like that. Oh wait, I can't afford medicine. You have to give me a group of invalidation, because I was invalidated this whole fucking time. You know? And being invalid means that I get money to buy medicine or not to buy medicine if I choose not to, actually. I also can just bail. It's like, well, you're giving me money now. Like, fuck yeah. I'm bailing. I don't care. Catch me if you can. Fucking losers. I don't even know how it all works, but none of this makes sense. Already doesn't make sense, right? It already looks like the government is filled with fools that haven't talked to me, so now they're just full of shit. They're full of fucking shit, man. They're just the most abusable piece of garbage there is. They're also pretty dangerous to some other people, you know. They kind of stand the test of time, basically, meaning that they're specifically catered to this timeline where we invented technology and they want to be punched in the face, basically, because they live in government positions. That means something technology eats every day. Every day, government loses more and more power. Okay, you might not see it that way, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. You know, the media might have been controlled by the government to some degree, but then the games were not controlled by the government almost at all. And then YouTube's still kind of a little bit controlled by the government, I guess. That's just a guess, a wild guess. But potentially we hate it. We hate the government whenever it steps in. That's why it's there. And because we had gaming and then YouTube, gaming was very, very cold for the government. YouTube is kind of nice, so I would say we're gonna go to extreme cold, and we're not gonna fucking give them rest anymore. The government is gonna evaporate entirely. Wait, next 15 years? That's not true though. I was like, yeah, 0.3. I guess the new government is going to establish that will evaporate as the evaporation process for sure. The government meets itself, meets the mirror, the scariest thing. That's again why vampires are scared of mirrors. Or no, why they don't see themselves in mirrors. It's a lot easier to live life that way. I'm just saying. You don't see yourself in the mirror, very good life for a government person. Vampires are really scared of self-reflection. And you can call it however you want it. It just sounds pretty fucking fabulous, honestly. It's not about... Okay, so we have a few locks that I placed down. I want to unlock them a little bit, if possible. Is it possible, though? Or can I just leave them as concerns? Yeah, it's almost like a fucking reference to masturbation again. It's like, am I really doing... But you can't live in the future. You just can't think about the future that easily. And when people fucking decide your future for you, it feels insane. It feels really, really insane. It's like, what are you doing? We can't decide future because we change as people all the time. You can only decide, like, how are you gonna spend the day with me or something. Like, if you're spending the entire future, that's fucking crazy. And I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, I was thinking about Insane Asylum and how to adapt to it, but now I'm just gonna throw it out of my head and like, I don't want it. I don't want it. Because I'm pretty sure they can't force me to do it in the first place. Pretty sure they can just punch me tirelessly, but I'm not gonna sign up for it. Like, what the fuck is the point? What's the point? I can't agree that I'm insane and that I belong in that fucking place either. And when I will tell my story, nobody's gonna laugh. Because my story is pretty fucking simple. I just came back. That's a very laughable story. Something happened, they're just gonna blame it on the illness that does not exist at all. Literally, I have no mental illness. No, none. I have problems in life. But hey, you can't just call it mental illness all the time. It's just not how life works. Every problem in life is mental illness. I do check people out if, like, okay, if your personality is not a thinker, mental illness can be applied to you as a problem in life. It's just a problem, you know. Problem in life is not mental illness for me, ever. I solve this first and foremost, and everything else is a problem in life. So usually, it's safe to say for me, it's like, well, the government is the problem now. They pick up the problem and they escalate it. They pour money into it. They fucking explore it to a ridiculous degree. They broke the relationship between me and that fucking stupid woman. What is it? The lawyer does not call me, does not care about me. How are you a lawyer? How are you defending me if you don't know my opinion? You can't defend me if you cannot spread my opinion properly and then say, okay, maybe he didn't mean that, maybe he, like that sort of stuff. Nobody's doing their job, so that's why problems are escalating, even though they're fucking tiny. They're so fucking tiny problems, It is your job to report something that you feel to your boss and whatnot, like all the concerns. And it's your boss's job to remind you that they have to listen to your concerns too. It's a fundamental piece. Okay. But in a way, like, wait, that means I have to call my lawyer? No. Whoever is doing a job has to call the person who are they working with. So if the lawyer never called me, he was never working with me to begin with. It gets so fucking awkward. It's so awkward. Like, they assign a free lawyer? I guess he never works with me. That's fucking weird. Does he not have my phone number? Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I forgot to give you that because you forgot to ask. It's just, in the world of grown-ups, you would expect that I can respect the grown-ups. But I can't, because they build a shitty world on purpose, so they can take advantage of people when they grow up. And if they can't take advantage of you, they will blame it on mental illness, and they will push you down, whatever it takes. So they're literally fighting God itself right now. That's what these fucking idiots doing. Directly. And if you really think about it, like, that's exactly what's going on. Like, people are actually saying the earth is round. There is no God. Atheism is fucking wonderful news. It's gonna save us all if we just forget about this fucking church thingy. Because church never had God. And that's true. Churches also have been built to destroy and deceive what God is. And God is simply just whatever is born. It's pretty innocent and godlike. It can turn into anything. Okay? So you might want to not disrespect children as the first and foremost thing you do is just flip that lever of like, well, the adults have to be respected more than children. Incorrect. But I guess you have the power to switch that lever anyways, and just tell us otherwise. Because you can always punch us down, bring us down, kill us, do whatever it takes, man. Just do whatever. But I'm realizing now, this is the stupidest thing that just never stops. It just never stops. Those fucking old people, they're really fucking asking for it. They're really asking for a war. They really don't understand what God really is, you know? Like that sort of stuff. So these, whenever they grab a position of a job position, or a hierarchy of some kind, they just keep it. There's like, well, I'm a grown-up and I have grown-up things. So everyone below me is a fucking trash. I can trash them. Yes, you can, right? Yes, you can. Wait, you're actually using us as a leverage to be up there in the first place. The moment you trash, you throw one trash, you come down, tumbling down, and you live in hell, basically. There's no other way. I probably would be happy in jail. I would probably be fucking happy in jail, dude. Okay, but not an insane asylum. Not for 5 months, too. But I don't know, man. It's that perfect little choice that will kickstart my year. It's like, what's gonna happen? Who do I love the most, man? It's ridiculous. Well, I love pissing people off and not really saying what I want anymore. I'm not gonna really say. I'm just gonna contemplate. You're offering me all these things. How nice of you. I only did a small little thing. Not only you find me guilty, you also find me mentally ill, and you're offering me a lot of things. Will I get money for it? Please, let me know. It's just ridiculous. If my mental illness is brought up so easily, yes, I can get easily angry. What a big fucking deal, right? Am I gonna do something about it, though? Yes, if you're a foreign entity in my home, I have to defend my home, don't I? So it's just such a stupid thing that I can't talk about it with someone who has the power, because people with power, they go against God. They just love it. They love not talking to people below them. That's not how you keep power, okay? You keep power by just actually accumulating it naturally. If you just got power from someone else, you're in for a ride that I can't describe to you, because I just want to see you fucking lose everything. That's what it is. It's not like I have anything in life myself. I sacrificed everything to just see nature grow and appreciate it fully. 100%. Like, it's not more or less. I'm not a fucking leaf. I'm a human being, and I'm making a video. And that's a lot of progress, okay? That's technology, guys. I'm not a fucking leaf. So, but I'm also not a fucking YouTube CEO, and I can ban everyone. Even if I was YouTube CEO, I'm saying, like, I'm a very humble person. I will probably understand of why I shouldn't ban you, you know? Like, I will probably find reasons not to ban you instead of actually straight up banning you. Maybe YouTube is gonna be turning into a cesspool of porn and drama. I don't give a fuck. Okay? I want it. I want whatever. Maybe even pedophiles gonna fucking show up. Oh wow. Look, you have underage girl porn. I'm gonna think about it because it's still controversial right now. I'll just think about it. Because as far right as you can get with it, you can't quite criticize pedophiles. They wanted something in life. Would you want it? Would you want this power against children? Probably not after you've heard me talk about children being fucking godlike. So yeah, you probably don't want that. But it's still tempting to know what the full story of this is, what the full context is, by interacting with children and seeing how far you're gonna get in terms of liking that child, but not in terms of abusing the child. Because you don't want that, so you don't want to interfere with the god growing and turning into just a real human being. But while it's fucking fetus size, while this toddler, it's a pretty scary fucking thing. It can be anything. It can be a president one day. You never fucking know, unless you're really that evil and you're just gonna kill it. Then maybe you know, but you also know that you're evil too. So your reality is twisted as fuck. That's what makes children so godlike. They're fragile. They have invested very little into life. They're not worth killing. They're not worth raping either, or abusing in other ways. So it's a very, very fragile thing that people have to look back and to fucking respect. And obviously Onision deserves to give his piece of respect as well. I'm sure he's disrespectful as fuck. I'm sure I shouldn't follow him. I'm sure his followers and his haters are both full of shit like everyone else, like 99% of population. Full of shit as always. It's not a big deal for me because I came to respect or expect this sort of behavior. 99% of the people are total fucking garbage. That's the expectation. Even 99% of the people that I like, they themselves are made of 99% of bullshit, okay? They still have to reconfigure themselves based on who they truly like and appreciate. So while they're away from me, while they're keeping a huge distance from me, I can't quite, feel connection and that they're actually great people. The only thing I can trust is like, well, you're putting a lot of effort, we can probably be friends, because you're rich, you're spending time somewhere else than making friends, like, for example, but also, you're making things that other people like, for example, too. So maybe I have something to learn, maybe we have something to discuss and move our lives forward in a different direction, though, because hyperproduction is just such a lame concept, and you can feel it. I hope you can feel it. The Rewind Motivator has to be insane. It has to be insane. I have to go fucking nuts. 3 hours of just absolute nuts, man. You can't dodge that one. And I have to fill it up with all kinds of things as well. The full context of the story from the ground up, of just explaining things. It usually goes a long way when I do that. When I just pick up the basics of what I truly know, what I truly hold as a given. It's like I have 4 elements that I hold as a given. I have monster types like vampire, zombies, creepers, and werewolves. You can probably call it just wolves. Like, who cares? It's like a werewolf turns into a wolf. At least on Twilight. And back. So like, well, he's just a wolf then. Whenever you want, though. So you can pretend not to be a monster. And even that's a fucking stretch because everyone does that. Vampires do that. Oh, I don't have fangs. And I don't burn in sunlight. Everyone wants to be pretentious. Oh, I don't actually explode even though I'm a very creepy person. And yes, I do explode actually. I wonder if I explode. I wonder if I'm a monster type. I think monster types is something you have to deal with in your teenage years. And not because you survived, basically. For some reason, there's some love within you that survived, so you have to turn yourself into a monster and see who actually gave you that love and reminds you of good things. I think that's what's going on here. It's a very profound idea, I would say. Monster style to see who loves you. 18 to 25 years old. Monster style. For me, I like teasing people with love, I think, because I have outgrown even that stage where I'm a monster to most of the people. But I'm also a monster to myself at the same time. There's no escape, honestly. And you lose friends over it, and you're like, what do I do in life? There's a lot of questions that you can't quite answer. But right now, I'm in a stage where I kind of have most of the answers. I just don't have nothing else, basically. Like, where do you start? You have answers. Well, you know how life works. And you have to be patient, but even patience is actually a form of giving up. Like, there's a lot that goes into just crafting a perfect year that I'm trying to have every year now. Every year I'm trying to craft a perfect year. And, like, this 2020 thing, as it was going down, I wasn't going down. And I'm proud of myself, but I have to share with the rest of the world of how proud I am. The way that I see it. It's hard to relate, but there's no drama in there. It's just pure knowledge that I accumulate. It's condensed. So, and I need to know it for myself. I need to see it of what I actually know. Deep down as well. Like, it's a good deal. So yeah, Onision definitely attracted a bunch of monster types himself, like, but I don't care. It's everywhere. It's the same problem of, like, seeing who loves you, you dragging them down into the monster land, basically, and seeing if they care. It just keeps happening over and over again, honestly. And it's a terrifying process to actually process through these young people and their weird sense of, like, who loves me. In the end, you kind of end up, for me as a stranger, like, you have to remind them that also strangers will love you, but you still have to fix your life. Your life has to be understood fully, and that's what I was doing in 20. When I was 24 years old, I guess I was kind of figuring out my life, because it was a new stage entirely. I couldn't really make it, I couldn't really make a timeline for myself. But, maybe through fears, it was good enough. Maybe through just a lot of weird things going on, like the friends that I've lost, trying to just recoup memories in the most weirdest way, because 2019 was more an emotional ride than anything else. An emotional wild ride. I would just think whatever happens, and I would still remain in reality. But I would just craft my own shit and not even care about a lot of people and what I'm supposed to do. Most of the time I didn't even have laptop working, so I just kind of spent time outside. It was such a weird time. Sometimes I would not sleep for a long time. It's hard to remember everything that happened. Especially when there's a sprinkle of Insane Asylum for 1 month. There's a sprinkle of me staying in UK until March 3rd. So 3 months. No, 2 months. So just the beginning of March now I'm in my hometown. 2019 is just a weird mix of things. And it keeps changing into different phases. Until I settle down and I get a job too. It's like, it's just weird because it's full of shit, basically, what it is. It's full of shit. It's full of things that I certainly can't control and understand and appreciate. I can't do anything, but I had to do it for whatever reason, basically. I had to do it because I could. And that was like the end of my monster type. Because I can't be a monster anymore, right? I know too much. So potentially try and preserve my monster in case I don't graduate. To understand what I have to do as a responsibility if I'm a monster. But what had to happen is like I had to connect with a bunch of people because I was outside and anyone could just say hi and could just connect me in if they find me interesting in any way, which is, it's automatically productive for both sides. To find new friends is just a normal thing, but it's not true friendship that would be acquired there. It would just be like, well, monsters play around with each other. That's what they do. So I'm not sure why, though, that's the case. Because the reality, you kind of graduate because you leave your friends behind. Because you're capable of being alone and being a monster at the same time. And again, in a fucking flash it can change. You graduate, you get to 25 years old, and your life completely is different now. You think you never really changed, but I can look back and kind of reform my opinion of what I was actually doing all these years. Because these are kind of split years between UK and home. I spent 4 years in UK. So it leaves like 3 years sprinkled in as well, sandwiched. Also, it adds like the first girl drama that I had in my life in those years. So, but it didn't quite happen as a girl drama. I would say it was more of figuring out what is my relationship with my friends rather than girls. Girls did not even come close to this section. I still like them. I still show attraction as like any guy would. It's just it's pretty weak, I would say. The game is pretty weak when you're a freaking monster. You can be accused of being a monster, and you just kind of have to suck it up. But most importantly, you don't allow yourself to meet strangers, and you don't allow yourself to fall in love with celebrities. So there's a lot that you can allow yourself to do after you just kind of graduate. And you don't feel like a monster because you don't feel attached anymore. You don't feel like you're hunting anymore for information on what's going on around you because you've lost everything pretty much. But you kind of had to. It's such a weird thing. And a new cycle begins. And I have kind of ran through the first year of this cycle. Or maybe it's 8 years for each cycle. That would be fucking weird too. If it just started and I have been a monster still, to my parents, to my insecurities that I have, because I don't quite have a home. So it could be starting at 26 as well. It's a very interesting thing. I'll give it a 2 stars because there's just so much going on in this statement. I am in love. Yeah, there's just incredible resource of things to talk about. And how do I talk about it? What kind of breaks do I take? I'm going into this blindly. I know it's a rant video, but it's different. It's supposed to be 10 rant videos in one. It has to be really, really playful and colorful. Not like my usual thing, but I still have to do only the things that I can actually afford. stay true to myself. That's the important part. It's so important not stop playing around and really finding that, what people allow you to do. That's what playing is all about. About ensuring what you're allowed to do. Because people have so many boundaries and so many insecurities. You need to know those. Because they will stop you very quickly. You just simply don't have the resource there. The response rate is low or too high, like whatever is going on. That's at least a good way to look at it through the way conversation works. People will dial in or out based on whether they like something or not. They can crash the conversation. Anything can happen. And they can make you feel like you shouldn't like them anymore. Because they feel too insecure or something. There's a lot of that going on. But again, I don't know what kind of conversations real grown-ups talk about, okay? Because I want to know that. It's probably not good. But it should be a little bit better than just being a monster type. And introducing yourself to a monster type. Like, oh hey, I like you. Well, you're a stranger, and I don't like strangers. That's because you never figure out what your parents are. Wow, what a magical thing, You're kind of introducing them a roadmap to graduation to understand that you can, in fact, love strangers. But that's the fucking trick, right? Some people will never grow up to be able to love strangers. Ability to love strangers is tier 2. Imagine this. Someone tells you this, basically. Basically, someone tells you that a simple ability, right? It should be a simple ability. It's not even a superpower of any kind. You need to graduate before you do this. And you should probably, drop your jaw. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Graduate? Will I get paid for this? Yeah, life pays pretty well if you're good at life. It pays pretty well. Just let people do what they're doing, and they will share. Or so I hope. I was never loved by this stranger yet, so I'm trying my best, I'm like, hey guys, I'm putting up a smile on my face. I really love YouTube, guys. Please subscribe. And I said that to 0 people. Oh, I guess it's one of those days when nobody fucking heard me. That's the stuff. People need to really organize and fucking, okay, I'm gonna watch this video, you're gonna watch that other video. There's probably 50 people out there that can watch my videos and not cringe too hard. So they all have to split themselves up and just watch all of them at once and see which Pokemon is the best, like that sort of stuff. Really, there's no other way. My cult needs to pick single video to break down as an assignment. And I call it a cult because now cult means nothing anymore. It's literally just a group of people that kind of worship you, but they kind of want to backstab you at the same time. It's like, who cares? Because what the fuck does it mean, right? Like, they're strangers. Just like you're a stranger. Most likely. You're not gonna make a cult out of friends anyways. You may make a cult out of recruits. You can call a stranger a recruit easily. If they're assigned to do something, and now you have an assignment. It's just so easy. Well, it's a cult. They care about that one thing. So, cult means nothing. What else do we have? Yeah, this really shocks me, honestly. I'll give it a fucking star, because I want to talk about it more. There's so many other abilities to learn and graduate and adopt into your life. But at the same time, while you're graduating, you're pretty much realizing, oh, now there's a new set of abilities that I'm learning through. Pretty much you have to get that 100% completion of the previous tier to get the tier 2 and learn every single ability that you have now access to. Why is that? I don't know, it's weird. It's so weird. But you allow yourself to do more. You allow yourself to be an actually bigger person and not like a more dramatic person, not more fake person. Like, everyone can do that more bullshit, basically. Add more bullshit into your life to be a bigger person, but you actually made out of bullshit. But nobody knows or cares or whatever your trick is. You realize none of these tricks work. Being a monster full of shit doesn't quite work, okay? Against strangers. It works against the people that know you and love you, you know, like you test their strength, that's fine. You test what they care about you, that's fine. You can't do that anymore once the problem is solved. That's why you approach tier 2, the graduation process. If you still have time left in your life and you still want to live a full life, you're just gonna go through the door and continue. Usually there are no tiers. There's just you living your life, and you become better and better, and you encounter a new problem, basically. Okay, now I'm a stranger. Is this when I chase love? Is this when it happens? What do I do? How do I ensure not to bump into a monster, which is like very high percentage? I say it's 99, but it's 90, more likely, 90%. But you must also understand the internet is also maturing as well. So it's more likely every single time. So it's a tough puzzle to solve, but I'm completely fresh out. Trying not to be a monster. Maybe I should try not to talk to my parents anymore. Just get what I want. Maybe it was just the last time, because I don't really want any trouble, to be honest. But if they try and talk to me, I guess I can talk back, you know. You learn that, well, your monster type can also be used as self-defense. Of like, well, you want to be tested, do you? Whether you love me or not. Because I know you, and you know me. You don't know monsters, because that's the whole point of being a monster, basically. Monster is a way to tell people, you thought you know me, but you don't. Because there's just ways that you feel that would overwhelm them. And I'm like, holy shit, this does feel like a graduation process. This should be it. Even if it's I'm 1 year late to feel properly about it, it's still a good deal. I think maybe the 25 years is a magical period where you declare that I'm YouTube CEO, I graduated, shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to see no monsters anymore. If you're weird, I don't like you. I just don't like you. Not because I don't like drama. Not because I don't like sexy things. If you're weird, if you're just doing one thing on repeat, that's weird. If you're doing something that's gross, that's weird too. You know, don't be fucking weird. You know, it's just very simple. Monsters are very weird and on purpose. But if you keep going with that purpose and you keep fucking flushing on me, basically, all that good intentions that comes with being a stranger to a stranger, you know, being respectful, all those things just get fucking destroyed. This is, yeah, I mean, another fuel for insanity. I mean, I wouldn't even want to do that, honestly. I was about to be political. It's probably a completely different play field, but internet is pretty young, so you would think like politics probably is made out of internet more than the government and just the raw thing that, you know, throughout history we build it. No, it's just the internet. We got more freedom so we can trash people more and pretend that there are infinite amount of genders and there are infinite amount of rights, basically, that you can violate. Oh, I said this, so that means I'm stupid now because someone called me out for being stupid. Or like, I said this and that's hate speech, and what the fuck do I do now? Like, what the fuck? No, on the internet people just do whatever the fuck they want. They declare whatever they want at this point. So, that's kind of politics right now. I think politics is pretty much the edge of like fighting against God itself. Because you're fighting children and their opinions. That's how fucking pathetic this is. This is why politics is like, and that's another way to be a monster, actually. Because it's another way to find a group of people that agree with you. And that's just bullshit. Another fucking form of bullshit. Literally, the world gets washed away. It's not even flat. It's a fucking cheesecake. And half of it is missing. I don't even know if it exists anymore. You know? It's not only flat. It's the best part about it, is being flat. You know? Because that's at least very certain. Everything else, I'm not sure if it's certain. I'm not sure if, like, well, that piece of the world is missing. Because that's politics. That's just kindergarten. Or just a lot of people who just sad and depressed. And they can't hold their emotions. They turn into monsters. Seeking for love in the only way they know how. And that's not how you do it. It's just so weird. But those lessons are so fucking valuable in life that going through them piece by piece and putting up a story that truly fucking resonates with people, I need that. I need that for myself too. I need to grow something that fucking works, man. So I need to. It's gonna be a few testing rounds, right? So the moment I hit number 1 of December, we're gonna start diving in and see if I can make that perfect video. Really fucking hit that. Yeah, again, MatPat inspired this whole format, but it might change. I don't know. But I like making statements. I like putting emojis on these statements if I really care. That's all good. But yeah, it's very intense. It's very intense when I just go raw knowledge, basically. Raw concerns, because you know it's like super deep, and you need also experience to be able to actually put everything together. It's really annoying to not be appreciated, though. And I don't know how to get it. And I tell myself somehow I know, but I want other people to tell it for me. I mean, I love strangers now. It's fine. It's fine, guys. I'm ready. I'm graduated. Am I wrong? Well, I'm actually wrong because coronavirus. So probably graduated at a wrong year, where everyone is telling me I'm wrong just by default. Well, that's fucking stupid. At least he's spending more time on the internet and I can still communicate. So how am I wrong? I don't know. I can't tell. I actually think I'm right. So I can't tell. I really can't tell. People need to learn the internet, and people have to stay at home. That's all I wanted. The other parts are not my invention, but it is what it is. That's 2020 for you. People are stupid enough to agree on something they totally disagree. Okay? For me, it's like a fucking death sentence. The same way that I overhear 5 months insane asylum. Is this what you want? You want to put a death sentence on me? I can't agree with authority. I just can't. It's physically sickening. It's the stupidest thing to agree with authority. But it's very difficult, as they try to establish their history and all that shit. As if you don't just live in a fucking moment. Yes, living in a moment is the scariest thing as well. Then all the switchboards open up of like, oh, I'm living in the moment. Yes, of course. You don't want to open up those switchboards where the monsters go wild and they do whatever they want. But maybe that's the whole fucking point. We have been suppressed so fucking much. Why not just let them do stuff? Not the purge. No need for the purge. But just let people do stuff. More regulations or less regulations? Where's the answer? There is no answer. It's always less regulations, but it's more regulations in order to observe. So I'm just hoping these fucking idiots of authority are just observing. They're putting coronavirus in place, so we all observe. That means we all know the same meme, basically. And that's... Corona is a meme. It's just super simple for me. It's a topic of discussion, basically. We need that. That's the most important part about it. And the secondary part is like, what is the effect? And what do you have to do to avoid it? That's the secondary part. But the way those stories are crafted is just weird, okay? First of all, it's weird, and you should not trust reality of what they tell you. You should tell yourself a story that you like yourself, because otherwise it's just you sell your soul accidentally. It's a lot of power that you're losing that you're gonna realize sooner or later, but it's a lot of power. The narrative of your life is your soul. So if someone hijacks that narrative and says, well, you only should trust reality, so if people wear masks, that's what you have to do, because, it does spread, and you suck in that scientific fucking mumbo-jumbo that you can't understand physically, and your narrative becomes shifted into insanity. You have to understand your narrative 100%. There's no other way. You're not gonna graduate out of being a monster if you keep sucking in other people's narratives, because most people are monsters. So you can't do that. You can't just pick up easy narratives. You have to craft your own. Your soul has to be prepared for the next journey. I don't know what that next journey is. I'm willing to talk about it as well and speculate about it. But it's probably best left for, another rant video for just pure speculations of what my next year is going to be. Just kind of ignore. Taylor Swift can pop in and out for a brief moment, but let's not worry about her too much. And again, I adopt her narrative, but her narrative is huge, right? A lot of people contribute to that narrative. I don't have to just trust her specifically. But because she's trying to appeal to a wide audience, because she's a celebrity, it's actually a pretty interesting narrative to even hold for an entire year. It's not necessarily going to reveal itself too quickly. I also have personality significance in there added. So like Ariana is a water person. Taylor is a fire person. There's significance in personality. I like that. And again, it tells a linear story of me adopting now a girl for a year. Let's see what happens. It's again a narrative that you wouldn't normally have as a dude. You pick up a girl for your narrative. That's the true pickup artistry, basically. There's just so many things you can do in life you can't even know because just people outshadow all the smart things. I'm not popular on YouTube at all, so congratulations if you made it this far. A person who reminds you there are narratives out there and they're very expensive and amazing. You must have one, please. Yeah. Probably I'm not gonna tell you if we're running low on narrative because other people are grabbing it. You can probably literally just craft one yourself and not worry about a thing. Craft your own way of thinking. Most of the time we're gonna come to the same conclusions because the world is that sort of magical where we fall in love with the same things. Essentially, well, it's all just big boobs, oh yeah, I like those. But in a way that it applies to almost everything, where there's a specific function, and we like it for that specific function, and we use it for that specific function. It's like, but it takes a lot of discovery process to get there. Oh, I have a microwave. Is that good to cook popcorn? Oh no, it's shit. You have to test that. I don't like cooking popcorn. I don't like corn popped. Too much work. What's the point? It looks pretty cool, it's just like a chip, like a potato chip. It has its own fucking thing going on. But it is what it is. Cooking with microwave it's its own art. You can cook meat really fast and really thorough as well. It's actually fascinating. I'm like, yeah, I would cook fish. What's wrong with that in the microwave? I can't understand that part. Fish just or smells funny, I suppose, especially when cooked. But like it's the same thing. You would cook it in an oven or microwave. Still the same fish. What's the difference? So I don't understand that part. Why it's a joke. But yeah, the reason why I call out a microwave, it's an experimentation process. It's about us sharing the information as well. Like, how the fuck does this work? And what do we need to know about this? What are the top facts about microwave? How do I use it personally? Maybe I'm good at that. People find those insights to be universal. But we all have to talk about it all the time, and we have to trust each other too. So, we need a cult, basically. That's what it means. We always do. We always do. If we find too many lonely people, we need a cult. We need to unite, get the actual narrative going as well. The poor people's narrative, basically. The narrative of the crowd. I like that. That's pretty okay, like if you have nothing to hold on for some reason, you're just that kind of person who throws everything away. You can still probably be influenced by the crowd itself. You're still gonna be sitting in a corner and consuming the crowd around you. I mean, there's no way you can escape that anyways. Not being a consumer, good luck with that. Anyways, I feel like I had enough for today. It's very exhausting. It's very exhausting, but I don't think I even want to visit Susan anymore and watch her videos. I think that's exhausting as fuck. Like, I get it. You're the authority. Girl. Very old one, too. So I can't call her a girl. A woman. A lady. Filled with authority. But in the end, it's pinata. If you're this fucking old and you're playing a children's game of watching YouTube videos, come on. Come on, that's a game for me, not for you. Watching YouTube videos. And I can not only watch YouTube videos, I can also talk to people and talk about people and criticize them. And I feel free to do it. And I love being hated too. I don't mind it. I do have to establish myself decently. But at the same time, I kind of have a feeling I know already. You have to be in that sense of like, yeah, I don't care what happens. I know what happens. The worst that possibly can happen is I mix up someone who hates me but actually likes me but never gonna tell me that they like me. I will mix them up for like an actual hater, but like how else is it gonna happen? You're gonna make a few slips here and there, and that's the whole point of like you hating, but your level of hatred is also different from other people. Everyone is different. Everyone has different levels of investment, and you have to fucking figure it out. Despite what they're doing. If they totally like you, they totally hate you. No matter what the fucking effort is, you gotta read them as a book. It's stupid, but you gotta read it as a book. And you also have to present them how much time you actually have to read a book in the first place. There's so much going on there too. What a fucking mess. Oh man. That's the challenge, you know. Oh, new challenge. I haven't finished getting myself employed yet, actually. That would be nice. Employment would be nice. We'll see. I'm just gonna explore the eyes thing. Eyes make you feel. Oh my god. That's what blind people are. I do this all the time, by the way. It's like if you're deaf or blind, you probably just found a way to block your senses on purpose. You're medically broken on purpose. You think like it's signs, there's no way to come back to life, and nobody did it before. But do you really live in the moment, or do you live in a fucking trash bag? That's where you live, in a trash bag. Now the real fucking problem is, right, you don't know whether magic is real or not. You just don't fucking know. So the fact that people can be cured, I still hold it, you know, it's probably possible. Very much possible. People can get cured. One thing you probably can't cure is a lost limb, okay? Yeah, I kind of have doubts on that one. I don't think that regenerates. But what if it does anyways? What if everything's just fucking magic too? What if, man, it's just the hardest thing to live with. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that's the hardest feeling ever of like not really trusting reality itself, of what you can and cannot recover from as damage. Because then all of a sudden, if you can recover from crazy things, you will start doing crazy things in life. And maybe that's tier 2. You're not necessarily a monster type. You're just power creep type of some kind. Absolute power creep. Because you're realizing more and more things are false. The fact that you get a paper cut doesn't actually bother you anymore. You can't be killed by bullets for some reason. What? It's all fake? But there might be a fucking narrative there that actually explains all of it. But it takes a long time to learn. For an ordinary person, it would take forever, but you're not ordinary, you have already graduated. So you can potentially learn that sort of magic. And this is why I actually called Tier 2 a realm of magic, too. I feel it as I enter it. There are things possible that I don't know about. There are things that people whap around, okay? Yappy yappy yappity. Okay? Blah. Blah 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 blah. They talk about things. They do things. But they never really find anything. Finding is a completely next level. It's almost like inventing ray tracing every single time. There's a lot of effort you have to put into this. There's a lot of thought you have to put into this. I don't even know what that is, you know. I'm trying to put myself in a position where effort just kind of stacks together easily. Just everything stacks nicely. So yeah, the realm of magic. I will be totally happy to share my magic with everyone else. I hope nothing goes wrong. But potentially magic wants to ensure that that barrier that I just broke with graduation, I take care of that barrier too. And I don't let losers pick up things that they don't need. Okay? What if I talk to my mom too long and she doesn't need it? She's just a fucking monster still, trying to figure out who loves her or not. It's like, that's a baby game, guys. That's now a baby game for me. So I want to think about it a little bit. This is fascinating. Just one last thing I'm going to think about it. Move on to the rewind. Whew. And tell you how it goes too. I'll play a rewind in my mind. Pick up 3 hours or whatever. Maybe play it out. Give you guys some conclusions. Maybe that's a little bit spicier, actually. See what I come up with as my storyline. But now I shall sleep, because it has been a long day. Yes, that special moment when you go to sleep because you're super stressed out and the dream happens to be fucking as weird as it gets. Okay? Oh wait, it doesn't get as weird as it gets. It was just a happy ending. Selena just sent me nudes, okay? That's what happened. I'm sorry, guys. I just got nudes. Too many nudes, man. It's not helpful, I don't think, but I'll take it. Stupid dreams, man. It almost ties into the story how I ended the conversation, because I introduced my alt personalities to the girl. She fucking deleted her avatar at this point. Fucking weirdo. I don't understand. It almost feels like there is very basic principles that people sometimes break on purpose when they become monsters, and they cannot undo their monster fucking stage. Like, think about it this way. There's a principle of saying, oh, this is bad. I shouldn't do this. Pretty fucking simple principle, but and you must actually have the ability to at least show that you're gonna follow this principle, because nobody wants to talk to a monster anyways. You're not a human being if you're a monster. If you don't follow any principles, you're not quite human. When going crazy. Because that's what people do usually, like, with strangers, we go crazy. There's nothing else to do than just fool around and see what happens. It's simple. I don't even want to continue this without, like, okay, let's do what I just wanted to do. So wake up with the same idea. I need to figure out how the rewind is gonna look like. I just said, like, yeah, if I can find those principles, maybe it would start a good storyline. And it will take 3 hours. And the most important part is to weave in as much of other people's content and their ways of life and ways of solving things. But all I can do is just heat them up and grab some ideas for myself, basically. Sure enough, yeah, Justin Bieber got cooked at this point. There's no way to deny it at this point. I think I just kind of made a mistake with the whole battle thing. It takes so long, and people really grow in that fucking category. In that kind of spotlight. Oh, it's the ultimate duel between two people. Yeah. Whoops. That sucked. Yeah, I'm gonna try and squeeze whatever juice I can get on top of some super basic narrative that simply asks you to graduate, because YouTube is graduating as a whole, I would think. And that's the start of the story, pretty much. YouTube is graduating, you have to figure yourself out. If you want to survive in the new landscape, you would think I'm fooling around, and yes, I am fooling around. I'm still a stranger to most people, you know. Since I'm a stranger to you, please please feel free to fool around with me. It's very simple. The same goes with the government. You get to make them fools, as always. It's a very simple thing. It's a simple moment of, I don't know you, I don't want to respect you, basically. That's the moment. Now it's like, okay, government, you spent all this money. Do you want to meet me too and say to my face that I spent all this money saving this woman and all that shit? And you're guilty for everything. No. It's almost like it's a good thing, you know, you created a loop. The damage was created and someone fixed it by creating more damage. That's a nice little fix. I don't know what else to say. And that means you really, really care about that woman and not me. But, obviously, by overcooking, government is like, well, I feel pretty fucking empty inside and angry. So might as well punish the person who I think is guilty. I don't know. I don't care. There is no evidence. There's no such thing as evidence, and there's no such thing as conversation. The only thing there is I have collected data about you, and I don't like you. That's what it is. I don't see anything else. I can't give a benefit of the doubt, in this case, that I'm suffering through. I would love to change my mind. I would love to change my mind that my mom is not fucking mentally stupid and can actually do something useful. But in that sense, it's kind of true. You know, it's kind of true. People are on that edge of, well, it's kind of true. You just never really try, do you? People are on this edge to kind of minimize effort and maximize their potential. Sounds great, right? But minimizing effort is never great. Okay, it's just counterintuitive for me. It's counter common sense. You don't minimize your effort. You're just tired. You are just tired. You need to rest. But that's a part of the effort, is ability to take rest whenever you feel you need it. You need to take that before you start making wrong decisions all over. And it's ridiculous. How can a very rested person, a very much, I sit here and I'm thinking all over and over again over those things. I'm not wasting my time. Thinking is not wasted time. There's nothing possibly can go wrong, except everyone else can do wrong, and I just have to agree with them, because they have freedom to do things, you know. I'm not here to take away people's freedom. That would be crazy. So it's only applicable in conversations and not like bystander effect. Yeah, most of the things are only applicable to you and not to someone else, ever. You can only suggest, give advice, and put out fires. If someone is fighting or being hostile, you can put out the fire. What else can you do in life? But it depends, right? The way the government handles things is gonna be the reality that we live in. And we have to understand that reality. So, if I have to go to jail and my reality is torn apart, I have to reinvent myself pretty much for no fucking reason, but that's just reality is the reason. Someone had way too much power. Cool. It is tough. And again, there are principles that we have to learn to better understand everything that's going on in general. But you have to understand yourself, and it's very easy that way, because like, do I follow those principles? It's just a few. Just a few of those. So we can put it together. Principles, right? I actually the first time I put a map in, I was like, okay, there's a green pill, there's yellow pill, there's red and blue. There's a bunch of pills, a bunch of medicine for you. Potentially bringing you back to the principles that you need to follow. The first principle is keep distance, okay? Keep your distance from people. And it's not a coronavirus principle. It's nothing viral based. It's just, if you can do it, it's actually, it's very tempting to smash into someone and to hurt them and to attack them. It's very tempting, but you kind of have to realize you have no business not keeping distance for your own sake, basically, for your own bubble. Okay, if people feel free to not keep distance, you're gonna be attacked all the time, and there's not gonna be a stop to it, and you're not gonna know how to stop things. So don't get attacked. Okay, that's the green pill. Pretty simple. We're gonna go clockwise. Actually, let's look at this. No. We start here, we go here clockwise. Anti-clockwise. Jesus. Counter. Okay. Okay. So the yellow pill. I mark it as popularity pill. But what does that actually refer to? Also the choices pill too. There's a bunch of choices of where your life can go. What do you do? None of this matters either. So what matters in popularity? Is this all you can handle? Take whatever you can handle? Or maybe don't pop? I don't know. What other people would do? What other people principles? Why is keeping distance such a basic principle that I immediately come up with? And what would follow next? A similar principle? I don't know, man. That sounds fucking weird. I'm pretty sure there is a principle where if you feel something, you kind of want to express that, you know? You kind of want to spread your feelings or shoot your feelings away, you know, as fireworks show, as a self-expression, as a way, an ability for people to exist and be found. You gotta plant those flags all the time of sadness or whatever. And you have to understand this principle that a lot of people are doing it and they're throwing shit at you sometimes that you don't want to turn into a flag as well. Not only want to keep the distance from the person, you only want to capture a good flag, right? When people are actually happy. Don't let them feed you anything else. You know, happy, satisfied, a neutral emotion that people can actually handle and remember each other with. It's like, well, you're satisfied, maybe I'll talk to you later then. You know, if you sad, it's like, maybe I don't want to talk to this person because sadness is not exactly what I need right now. You know, but when someone is satisfied, like, sure, it's just a quest for a hangout. It's not a big deal. So then, two more principles. So this is a sniper principle, and this is I don't need it principle. So it's the need, and we can just call it SN. I don't know. Snacks. Because this means expression too. I don't know, dude. But that's kind of the part of the expression, I guess. Planting a flag, depending on how you feel. So you're not supposed to know what this means, but you kind of know. If I just remove N, that's usually how most people feel and what flags they plant before they get you. Okay. Selena, stop sending nudes. No. That's terrifying because, you know, like, these celebrities fucking have crazy parties for themselves, no matter what, or crazy boyfriends. I don't want to know about it. But I guess I watch porn every now and then, so it's completely normal. Some things are just weirdly completely normal. Just like grooming a 16-year-old. Onision, no. I think there is a principle for that. No matter what's popular, your point of view is a completely different thing, and you have to fight for it. pretty much. Basically, don't pop your self-esteem, because that's what's popular. Having a self-esteem is popular. That's what's attractive. Okay. So just keep your point of view. I've said it already. Narrative is your soul. Is your ability to consent to things. Because you have to have your narrative in your personality. Understanding of yourself. And most important, self-esteem. Because people can override your self-esteem with their consent. You know, otherwise you don't have consent, you know. It's kind of simple principle too. Now what's the fire principle? Ignore everything and everyone forever. Never talk unless they're assholes, and then destroy them. I don't know, man. I hate fire. I don't want to give them a principle. It's so stupid. They also like building businesses. So maybe that makes sense. I know a very simple principle of accumulation, right? Just stack things. Just don't worry about it. The more you can stack, the better life gets. It's weird. It's a very weird principle. You have to be very stupid with fire people. They don't like smart people, okay? If you stack a very tall tower, it's very good. It's very good for you. But the reality is, you have to stack and organize everything as best as you can. All the time. Just like every YouTube channel has to be restacked over and over again. For people to actually understand what is good content, what is like meh content, what is not suitable for most people, what is suitable for a wide variety of audiences, and most importantly, it has to stack, so it has to look good from far away. It's like, wow, you put a lot of effort into this. Wow, this is a really big business that you have done. So, max stack, basically. I'll just do Poppy, because that makes sense, and we're using 4-letter words apparently, because that's the need. It started it all, okay? I'm sorry, guys. So maximize your stack. Pop in a way that you care about, okay? Because if you become popular about something ridiculous that you can't possibly control, people are just there to laugh at you, and end of story, basically. Your story ends, and you're like, well, what do I do now? It will confuse the shit out of you. It's a terrifying thing that happens when you become a meme. It's terrifying. I mean, I see this repeat over and over again. People get the popularity, and it's like, but it's gone. What do I do now? I have to be as crazy as I was before. Well, do you? Was that the intention this whole time? And it's a very weird thing. And again, don't only operate on your needs. Don't get yourself in trouble. Don't turn your needs into greeds. Okay? I know it's a green pill, but it's a no. No. Don't operate on your greeds. If you really need something, you will figure out how to get it. You'll figure out how to reduce the distance, but that's all you can do. You can't expect the other person to just come to you just because you're reducing the distance and you're throwing all the hints and everything. You can't expect that to happen because people are way too dynamic to need you back, basically. But you can accumulate the needs to kind of shrink distance on both sides. That's what you actually need to figure out, how it shrinks on both sides. Then you can actually even time the event of when you meet the person when you truly need it, you know? When you truly need it, you'll meet the right people. It's just weird. And there's definitely some sexuality thing happening here, and Ariana is just pissing me off for implanting the 69 meme. Like, well, why? That's how you feel? Thanks. That's very good. And deep down, I know it works. It just makes me like, oh. But I still like that someone is so fucking obsessed with it, don't I? Because it feels good to obsess over something and pretend for that moment of fucking pure ecstasy of like, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take your obsession. You're stupid. You're stupid. You're obsessed with something, you're stupid. I'll give it to you. So, you know, it's a weird one. Is this happy though? Because usually the happier things have their own like symbolism as well. I'm not sure what it means to split this number into this. Is this like, oh, I created a mystery now. Oh, I created a, no, I created distance. Wow, look at me. I'm following principles. Yeah, there's some fucking weird shit in there. So I can't wait to put every YouTuber on this filter as well. It's like, don't break these fucking rules. They're very confusing rules, not obvious at all. I had to think about it before I figured out all of them. Before I caught all the Pokemon. It's not easy. Yeah, there's a yellow Pokemon. There's a red one. There's a green one and there's a blue one. Who would have thought? The Squirtle squirts emotions all over. You want to keep your distance from Bulbasaur because there's too much tentacle porn happening. Actually, I want to see tentacle porn right now from Bulbasaur. I'm sorry, guys. I will want to see it right now. I need it. I need you, Bulbasaur. I couldn't dodge his attack. Then you have the Charmander. I guess he has to collect charm, he has to collect muscle, he has to be a big fucking dragon that everyone enjoys. And collect fire too, because fire breathing, pretty fucking hard. All these things are very hard. So it's all about just collecting things. Okay, Bulbasaur. Good luck. Max stack of resources. Like, how much fuel do you have to be a fire-breathing dragon? It's fucking weird. Okay, do you go to gas station to refill yourself? Your life must be very weird. I wouldn't say suck, because I'm too smart for that. And then the popping. And you know what Pokemon I'm talking about. The stupid Pikachu thingy. What the fuck? You're the fourth Pokemon? And you don't even exist as a choice? You piece of shit, Pikachu. Everyone hates you. And that's why we love you. We can only hate for so long until it's like, well, I'll electrocute you. Okay, I like you now. Don't worry about it, Pikachu. You don't have to attack. Madpet is like, I heard electrocution is actually pretty weak. Yeah, shut the fuck up, Madpet. You have no idea what Pokemon world we live in sometimes. And, if police weapon of choice is tasing people, I don't know, Madpet. Sounds pretty bad. It sounds pretty bad. Sounds pretty shocking to me, okay? I'm sure that Pikachu will find a way to jump on us, and turn into a taser. It's the whole fucking point of Pikachu is like, you never know, but the true story is, they fucking jump, man. They jump on you, man. Okay, so I need some Bulbasaur porn right now. I can't live without it. If you combine those three things, That's pretty crazy, actually. It gets pretty crazy. Imagine this, right? Oh my god. Took so much fucking energy out of me. Holy shit. Now that's muscle right there. Oh my god. He has to stand being shocked, can't be able to move and speak, can't breathe, and basically you're also attacked very emotionally. This is pure water bullshit. This has nothing to do with anything. And the fire and wind is just kind of flavors to the overall madness. I don't know what to say. This is ridiculous. Oh my god, what do I do now? And then you also feel the pain of like, people hate me. Why don't people like me? These are the symptoms? Really? This is your fucking sickness? Well, I have it! Let's go! I'm sure there's always a fourth symptom, which is I want to kill you symptom. It's a very simple one as well to fucking figure out. But I guess we're just gonna make a nice YouTube video instead with all this energy. Because I don't see enemies yet rushing in, you know? We just create a fucking a narrative. An overall narrative. Entire world narrative. Meaning that, you know, my country has nothing to do with this. And I shouldn't attack my country as the first thing to do. But still, how you handle cases, very much under investigation right now in my head. Like, what the fuck are these guys thinking? Why did they not say what they're thinking? Why is the only narrative that I give a fuck about is a worldwide narrative? Will I be able to escape their stupid fucking grasps of not understanding me? Will my act of having a coronavirus is gonna work? Because I'm sure it's gonna work. I'm sure. There's nothing that can beat double Joker. I'm angry, and I have coronavirus whenever I want. Of course. Double Joker. Because this is pure emotional abuse that's happening worldwide. Welcome to a new fucking age. And it doesn't stop there because nobody wants to acknowledge what it is. Right? So when you don't acknowledge what it is, you actually want to make it worse. Accidentally. Oh, let's make it worse. People having financial problems, worse. People having relationship problems, worse. Everything's worse now. And I think we have it. We have a perfect YouTube rewind. None of the YouTubers actually matter in the end. They're actual trash. I have wasted my fucking year caring about them. It's ridiculous. Yet I still have respect and pretentiousness, ability to pretend that I still care about them. It's like, what are you doing? A great job. The house is on fire, though. Please get out of the house. Keep doing a good job, though. No problem, right? There's no problem. I'm sure. Fuck yeah, dude. You think all these principles were broken? No. There's one principle that has been established of like, well, let's just put a bunch of walls because probably that's happening. It's not happening, okay? I am not happening this entire time. I have been next to my computer, glued to the screen. None of these smash into other people happened, okay? Maybe people smashed into me and said very mean things and intended that I have no power to resist them and their urges. But I didn't smash into other people. I kept my fucking distance. You know, if someone is like, oh no, you offended me, now I have to fucking hunt you down and shit. Or I have to call you out for being a little child, so I don't want to hunt you down, but normally I would. You know, like, there's there's a little bit of manipulation going on, but usually most of the people that you ping, they're like strike you back of like, who you think you are? I always jump on people. There's no principle that says it's a wall. Now it's a wall. Okay? So potentially we need it, not because we did it, the green pill people, green pill people actually know this principle very well. Like, well, I'm shy, I have to keep my distance, because it's a very risky situation, I don't want to ruin it, you know? Like, it's a very, very normal behavior that nobody fucking else has yet. So potentially that's what it is, okay? It's not about the emotional virus necessarily. The emotional virus becomes like a toxic shit, a side effect. It's almost like there's only one narrative being told here. There's a completely different narrative being told here. Okay? This is just a spit on the screen. Someone spit on the screen because they felt something about something. They spit on the screen and I read it as if it's a fucking gospel. And the only thing else about this gospel is like this triad of oh, I have a perspective, you know? I can ray trace into other locations, but not anger, because that doesn't interest me. That's exactly the problem. That's why people have coronavirus in the first place. They have no ability to be angry anymore. Okay, and it shows. It shows, man. And the moment people will switch that switch and become angry, you kind of want to muzzle that piece of shit. You know, you kind of want to have it wearing a mask and just being unidentified little garbage. You know, just that sort of stuff. I don't like talking about the biggest trend of the year, but it threw the biggest shade I've ever seen any trend throw. It's not Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus. It's not Justin Bieber's Baby. It's not Rebecca Black. Pretty good shade, but not good enough. This is a big one. It's fucking giant shades of madness. Is everything else okay? Well, I guess people really care about being nice to each other. That's cool. Thumbs up on that. People really care of saving their businesses and saving their ass and not selling their homes and not setting them on fire and not attacking other people's property while their property is being attacked at the same time. Everyone is holding on to their own shit and they don't even fucking budge, okay? When the government asks, well, stay at home, that's what they did, because they like it, you know? They hold on to this. But that's just one thing pisses me off, even though, you know, it's artificially enhanced to build walls here. I'm pretty sure people still don't give a fuck about this principle so badly. Simply because, well, it's YouTube generation. It's a generation on fire. It's a generation that don't feel boundaries and walls when it comes to entering communities and spreading your fucking ideologies. There's none of those fucking boundaries. Stay shy, guys. Very good advice. Stay fucking shy. Or you're gonna be in the absolute shame instead. Okay? And you will delete your YouTube channel. You will delete your internet existence. Think about the future. What are you gonna do in the future when your internet existence is destroyed and reset? Yes, you can be a child. Yes, you can regrow from the very beginning, but it will hurt every single day being treated as a child. Being treated as a TikToker is where you have to start. You have to start from a very, very dark place, I would say. Just being a TikToker, still high production, still possible to bully other people. It's the same school environment. Don't pretend that it's a lifesaver. Okay, you go back to Discord or TikTok. Is it gonna save your life? Are you gonna take over someone else's Discord that easily? I don't want to say it, but it's for the future. Not right now. It's not the narrative that we're gonna talk about now. And yeah. Keep your point of view to yourself. Everyone's stuck in their own bubbles. Everyone's sticking in that shit. And not necessarily even spreading that. And the moment they want to spread it, they jump on you and like, oh, you want something from me? We'll take everything. All the drama, all the bullshit. Take everything. Because I'm sure you care about that. You know, I have no shy principle of what at all. I have all the needs and no shy. So, that's the narrative. That's the underlying story of the YouTube Rewinds. Probably most of you actually even watched it before this. So, now you know. Now you know what to get upset about. Is Among Us an interesting trend at all? Among Us. Ooh, what's that? I think it's almost like the same level of trend as a TikTok thing. I think it's the same platform, basically. Yes, uploading gameplay videos on YouTube doesn't work. In order to be a true gamer, you actually have to make games. And that's a lot harder. You have to make websites, you have to make entertainment. If you made a cookie clicker, congratulations. You just made a game that actually works. Yes, most of the time the game has to be on the website and in the App Store. Now is your another option. There are things you can do, but you have already had to establish yourself as a game developer pretty much to enter the generation of game developers. Have you created a Sega cartridge game thing? It's still about making something entertaining, but it's still a high production. It still takes a lot of effort to think of the right idea, not necessarily hire enough people, because you can make Tetris, and Tetris worked, and it's easy to make, not a big deal. Obviously, it can be remixed and replaced and all that shit. And the gaming generation kind of sucks in a way. It kind of sucks. Because I didn't get to be in that generation necessarily. I tried my best. I tried my ass off. But we were just kids fooling around with adult stuff. Okay? Now I do feel like if YouTube is gonna backstab me and betray me, becoming a game developer for me, fully, is easier than ever before. So don't do that, okay? Don't backstab a potential billionaire or whatever. Like, sure, it's fun, but, just keep it to yourself, The most important part, I think, about potential billionaires or whatever is the mind control aspect, right? So if they truly have the potential to become very, very rich, they will mind control everything else while they're becoming rich. They will steal wealth from you. They will steal it. Or from your neighbors. They will convince your neighbors that they have to pay a tax for entertainment that they have created. Potential billionaires are way more dangerous than actual billionaires who now already have stolen wealth from people. And maybe they did it accidentally, just to show an example. But potential billionaires, which I claim myself to be, I'm way more dangerous. I can go fucking crazy, I can dig out the biggest demon fucking garbage, and turn it into a game, and I'll suck people into that game. That's the gaming world. It's dark. It can get so much worse. And, I don't recommend being a gaming YouTuber ever. Yes, you can root yourself in a few games to scramble some communities away from those games. And then you can talk about Sour Patch Kids, okay? Markiplier is making a lot of horror games, and it's terrible. It breaks me. I can't watch his channel. Why does he have 25 million subscribers? Because the communities of horror games are huge. The communities of just gaming are huge. That's why. but he makes much better content just reviewing food. How the fuck does that make sense? Because it's relatable. That's why it makes sense. Horror games are way, way worse in trying to relate to people. Well, you're just a horrible person, isn't it? Markiplier. Markiplier did not make it into the list, but he makes it to the special list here, in the ending, where everything ends, and you're like, wait, what? Anus, anus, yes. Unus, anus. I don't care. He made a meme of himself, and it works. It doesn't matter which list you make into, it just matters if you're fucking glad that you did. Okay? Are you glad now? You made it. And if you're glad, that means the story goes on. So did it truly end? What happens? Is there gonna be a reboot of Markiplier? I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, that's the end of my episode. And YouTube, Rewind 2020. Coming up, guys. It's coming up. This Christmas. This Christmas season, we have baby Jesus. No, I want the season to be fucking relax, okay? I just want to relax. I don't want to fucking fight everyone. But I will show how disgusting they are by being disgusting. I've learned it from the best. What do you know, right? I learned it. People trigger, people push buttons, people activate, people emotionally manipulate. All these things were happening where you stack against other people. You create points of view that are very, very pointy and very dangerous to touch. You can't touch this person. Oh my god, what a fucking point of view my lawyer has. You couldn't touch this person, now you broke the law. Fuck you! Fuck you! Holy shit, am I gonna touch that piece of shit lawyer? Imagine being a lawyer and then being dead the next day. Imagine that. Does that make sense? That you did a good job? The potential of dying next day, is that good for you? We only deal with potentials. We don't want them to happen. But it's happening. Regardless. That's how powerful potentials are. All the potentials are happening at once. So please control yourself and stop dying. It's fucking stupid. And I am happy. I'm very happy and poor. And without friends. And nobody throws any flags at me because, oh, no, not... Well, you don't like me, so I ban you. Wow! What a principle! I wish everyone would do that. You know? Ban yourself from the internet. Please. Nobody likes you anyways. Jesus Christ. When do people fucking understand that? Nobody likes you on the internet. Go back to the baby age. Get out. Jesus. It's the only principle that's left intact and that has been reinforced. By law. By law, you have to keep your fucking distance and keep your mouth shut. By law now. Get lost. Stop pissing on me. Your stupid perspectives, your stupid wealth, and your stupid arrogance. Stop it.